As the year continues to fly by, we find ourselves in the middle of winter. It's good to reflect on our purpose and place as Muslims in this country. Assalamu alaikum, you're watching An Nur the Light. The struggle for freedom was fought by many people, and today we spend some time on a small dorpi in Lephalale with Brother Zunaid Mossem, a comrade in the true sense of the word.
Activist, comrade, mentor, leader are some of the words that can be used to describe Zunaid Mossem. In the small town of Middleburg, where Zunaid is based, he has contributed on an immense scale in many areas.
I'm the MMC for Budget and Finance. I'm responsible for ensuring that there's compliance with the Municipal Finance Management Act. Also ensuring that in terms of your supply chain management, that everything is above board. Most of my life I've been an activist, so for me it's a continuation of my activism. Although my position is confined to budget and finance, I am now assisting small businesses to develop themselves here. Having worked as a divisional manager communication and development at Middleburg municipality, where I was responsible for communication, your media, writing speeches, that kind of stuff, and also housing and economic development. We are currently establishing what we call the Waterberg Economic Development Agency, and with that, your whole question of establishing, entrepreneurs and projects on a big scale. We need to come up with much more bigger projects, that can add value and can be sustainable within our Waterberg district.
Zunaid Mossem is truly a child of Limpopo. Having lived and worked in Polokwane, Bela Bela and Modimolle, he embodies community development as he has committed most of his life to serving the community of Limpopo.
Around 1997, I think, I was appointed on the Provincial Small Business Council by the former MEC for Economic Development, Taba Mufamadi in Limpopo. And I was also appointed on the investment wing of the province, State Investment in Limpopo. And since then, I realized the importance of economic development. Unfortunately, if you look around you, in your towns, also in your central business districts, there are very few of the previously disadvantaged that are running businesses. And we need to begin to focus on that, especially skills development. And there is a desire by local communities or entrepreneurs to begin businesses. What I try to do is try and network and advise, with all the information that I have and whatever information I gather from the various departments. I assist, small businesses.
The youth are always looked upon as our future, and here too Zunaid has made a lasting impact. His involvement in setting up skills development centers are some of his proudest achievements.
This area was previously utilized as hostels. Hostels was meant to accommodate men who were working in those other government entities like Eskom, Telkom, Spornet, and so on and so forth. We then converted this particular area into what we can call a light industrial park, that its aim is to support small businesses. The communities here, especially those who are doing self-employment activities, you'll find them, those who are doing carpentry, they will do that carpentry work at the backyard space and so on. Whoever is doing knitting will use one room of the house, and then it will disturb the household activities and so on and so forth. Then we thought of a light industrial park for this SMME Development Support Center. I've learned a lot from Mr. Mossem himself because he's a person who likes to network. He has contacts with some other practitioners in the field of local economic development. We did not have much of a problem to go about, to get some ideas and advices on whatever we wanted to do. It's something that one would like to have in future. Imagine once you are running a public space and then you don't relate well with the public itself, and then it means there is a problem. And then I'm still enjoying his presence, his support. He's available most of the time when I ask this and that.
Zunaid is always ready to lend a helping hand. When the idea of building parks in townships came about, it was Zunaid who sprang into action and contributed his knowledge.
Currently, I'm busy with a project in Bella Bella, where two gentlemen entrepreneurs requested that they want to establish what they call Bella Bella Waterland. Now, if you look at your establishments around Bella Bella, which is a tourist destination, I mean, it's very expensive for even the locals to go to. And this would be sort of, a way of locals entertaining themselves in what we call Bella Bella Waterland. The project is very at its teething stage as yet. We're trying to acquire the land for them, and hopefully, we're successful. And even if they're successful, there is a piece of land identified. If they're successful in getting that piece of land, then yes, we have we also have to acquire the finance for it.
The success of South Africa lies with its people. The future of South Africa lies with its youth. For a man who has dedicated his life to the struggle for a better life for all, these ideas are tantamount to the success of our country.
It makes me so proud to see ordinary people such as Zunaid who continue to do the good work to make South Africa a better place. Next up is our ever-popular Street Style.
When I think about my style, I would consider it as a modern contemporary style. I like to include modern elements into my style, but I also like to keep it classic at the same time.
My type of style is influenced by cinema, art, eclectic culture. I plan my style for the day, if it is an occasion or not, but sometimes I go with the flow.
My style is definitely inspired by modern fashion trends, the latest fashion trends actually. So I would look at the colors, the textures, the patterns, and what I would do is I'd incorporate it into my clothing as well as into my scarf style.
I'm in the logistics industry, so I do distribution. I'm meeting with clients constantly. So that gives me a bit of an insight into how I need to dress for the day. If it's informal, then I would dress accordingly, and if it's formal, I'd go with the shirt and tie. These are black skinny jeans. These are brown Chelsea boots. I'm wearing a maroon bomber, and this is a floral shirt. This is a Casio Illuminator watch, and a pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses. My accessories are influenced by cinema, pop culture, photography. It's basically what I visually see that I emulate on myself.
I chose this particular outfit because it's one of my favorites. I've actually included it in my scarf styling book. Firstly, I love the color combination. Red is one of my favorite colors. The pattern, the design, I think that it's really trendy. I think that it's really modern. And what I've done is I've tried to complete and complement my scarf style with my outfit.
Men's style is a bit more lenient compared to women's style. Women's style is a bit more conservative within the boundaries of our religion.
As a Muslim woman, I don't find it difficult at all because basically all I'm doing is I'm incorporating a scarf style into my outfit or my clothing. So I don't find it limiting, I don't find it restricting at all.
Those Joburg people surely know how to dress. I love how they consider not only fashion, but religion as an integral part of their identity. The history of Islam in the small town of Middleburg dates to well over 100 years, as Indian traders came to set up shop, seeking out better opportunities in life. Our crew spent some time there to bring you the history of Islam in Middleburg.
The town of Middleburg is one of the oldest settlements outside of Johannesburg and derived its name as the middle point between the capital, Pretoria, and the gold mining town of Lydenburg. Muslims arrived in Middleburg in the early 1900s as general wholesalers to support the gold mining industry and set up trading shops in the center of the town.
The family is in Middleburg from 1917, and my great-grandfather, I'm the fifth generation in the business. He came here and he put up a corrugated iron shop and he started trading. He used to go with horse cart to Pretoria, buy stock and come back. And that's how he started trading, started this business. Being in a small town, the family ties were very strong at that time. There were 4 brothers. My father and them were 4 brothers, and we all used to live behind the store here. And that's how we grew, that's how the business and the family grew up.
When the gold rush arrived in Middleburg, the town was bustling and Muslim traders had already carved a name for themselves. The Jumas are one of the oldest and most well-known families in town, having traded here for 105 years. They traded in the same building for the last 80 years and it's become a well-known landmark for people in the city.
My father and I finished matric and my father asked me to join the business, in which we did, and we traded together for 30 years before he passed on, and then I took over. It's been an up and down ride business-wise. Thanks to the Almighty, things have been doing well for us, and as a family as well, we've been trading, very well all the time.
One of the very first buildings Muslims erect is usually a mosque, and the Awal Mosque can be found literally in the center of town as well.
This particular masjid is the second mosque that had been put up here after there was a need, when the population had grown, to have another masjid. And as we're standing right here now, this is already a masjid that has been renovated for the second time. The first building of this masjid took place in 1997, but 3 years ago, we realized that this place has become too small. So this entire section, as you see, has been now expanded. And if you have to look at how the dynamics of our country are going, the influx of people coming from all over the world, it was necessary for us. Yes, the Muslim community here is very, very tight-knit. You have the pioneer Muslim families that initially had come here. We can refer to them as the Jumas and the Palorias. And thereafter, people who had shops in the far outlying areas, in the farm shops, as we'd say, and they had come. And in a little while, we find that, like everywhere else, especially under the pressures of apartheid, Muslims had to do everything together. They had to stick together.
When apartheid came into being, the Group Areas Act forced people out of the city centre and onto the outskirts of town. Indians were settled in the suburb of East Dean and, just like their forefathers before them, went about establishing shops and the all-important mosque.
East Dean obviously was also one of those apartheid-era group areas. And first, the Muslims were living right in town amongst everybody else. They had their little shops, they had a little madrasa there around the masjid area. And when the Group Areas Act was declared, at that time, then this area was given to the Indians.
Democracy in 1994 not only brought with it freedom and an end to apartheid, but also gave the Muslim community a chance to build their own school. This was an important stepping stone as the school was founded on an Islamic ethos, although open to all.
The Muslim school was established just around 1994, 1995, at the time when South Africa was now undergoing at the peak of its transition. And there was this fear that everything is going to be falling apart, and education definitely was on a downward. There's no two ways about it. At that time, the wise elders of our community got together and they said, this is our opportunity now to take control of education. And they went about, got the whole community together, and we find that they established the Muslim school in this manner, that it was running at the, what we call the old madrasa premises. And we had only 6 classes at that time. And we started with about 120 children. And that was the starting point. And if I say today, the Muslim school is a focal community point where the community rallies around. It is brought together by the Muslim school. It has expanded way beyond what our dreams were. We had got up to matric at this point in time. But all this was, at that point in time, just to take control of our education. So it is not only a school now, it is something that keeps the whole community together.
The Middleburg Muslim community has a proud history and has contributed positively to the town. While many similar towns are seeing a brain drain of sorts as young people move to the cities, Middleburg seems to have missed this trend. East Dean remains popular and the mosque will be expanding in the near future as it accommodates more and more people who are moving back here. It looks like the roots of Islam is firmly planted in this frontier town as the next 100 years loom.
That town may be small, but the actual gems we find, as well as the history of the people who were such pioneers, just brings me so much joy. I hope you have your tablets and smartphones ready because we're about to show you some of the hottest Muslim apps, books, and technology features.
The quest for happiness is a read designed to satisfy one of the fundamental yearnings of all human needs. Written by author Muhammad Fadil Imandin, this book is beneficial to readers as it gives clarity to the journey toward happiness through its useful tips that is adaptable in everyday situations. So if you'd like to welcome some happiness into your life, make sure you pick up this book today. Make the best of your smartphone by downloading the Hisn Al-Muslim app. This app is wonderful because it contains beautiful compilations of authentic supplications in many languages of your choice. This app also allows you to share these hadiths with loved ones. In today's age of technology, those who love cooking and trying out new recipes have left the books behind to easily access recipes digitally. If you are one of those people, rest assured because the kitchen table mount has been designed especially for you and your needs. It's a convenient tool to easily read recipes while your hands are occupied. This device is remarkably easy to install in only a few simple steps and can be mounted right onto tabletop counters or on a vertical surface like pillars or walls. The swivel head and adjustable grips make it usable for a wide range of devices along with a lengthening function for personalization.
We are always on the lookout for good stories and cooking suggestions in all our topics. And with this in mind, we tracked down one of the oldest residents to show us how to make the world-famous Essie.
A while ago, we brought you a Cape Town delicacy, and today I'm in Friendly PE, where we're going to learn how to make the legendary Essie that's been made here since the early 1800s. So let's meet Khadija Peterson, who's quite an expert on the subject. I'm lucky enough to be in the kitchen of Auntie Khadija Peterson, a veteran baker, and who better to learn to make the Essie from than the professional. Auntie Khadija, thank you so much for having me in your kitchen.
Pleasure.
Tell me, where did you learn to make Essies?
From my mother, and she learned from her mother.
So I'm learning from the best at the moment.
I don't know.
Well, your reputation precedes you. What are the ingredients that we need to make your Essies?
The butter.
Yes.
The brown sugar, an egg, and a little oil, and fine stick cinnamon.
Yes.
Cardamom, fine ginger, and nachi peel.
Nachi peel. And how much nachi peel do we use?
Only about a teaspoon, because if you throw in too much, it makes it bitter. Baking powder and bicarb.
And the ratio of that is about 1:4. So 1 teaspoon of baking powder and about
a quarter teaspoon of bicarb.
And what is this? I've never seen anything like this before.
That is that roy balls.
Roy balls. And this is for color. That's what gives that Essie that distinctive look. Okay. I'm excited to get started. So what's the first thing that we need to do?
The butter. You put the butter in.
The butter. And is this about a cup of butter, about how much?
Quarter pound.
A quarter pound. It's about 125 grams of butter.
And then the sugar.
The brown sugar.
Brown sugar cup.
So you can add some sugar and all of the oil. And then you're going to beat this until it's all nice, the sugar's nice and dissolved. Okay. So I'm going to add the flour. our dry spices.
Spices, yeah.
And the bicarb. And then do you mix this by hand?
Yes.
Or are you going to mix it?
By hand.
And then we start rolling. Sort of bring it together and just pinch it up. So it's sort of it's a very buttery dough and soft.
It's soft, yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to roll it into, is this how we make the Essie? And we add that to the last bit of dough. And this is about a teaspoon.
I just know, not too much.
Oh, so this is just gauged by the eye?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't think so.
Okay, so now that we've got our log and we've got our royals nicely mixed in, what do we do now?
Now you put the red on top of the...
So you spread it out across the entire width of the log. My grandmother used to have a rolling pin like this. She refused to use anything else. How thick do you roll this out about?
I just roll it like this.
So you don't really measure. You can gauge by the eye already. And how long do you bake these for, Khadija?
About 15 to 20 minutes. You can feel if it's hard and you can switch it out.
Oh, okay. And at what temperature? About 180?
180.
Okay, so 180 degrees, 20 minutes, and then I can have an Essie and a cup of tea.
Yes.
And these are going to expand quite a bit, so do you have to give enough space in between the...
Oh, it's all right like that.
The biscuits, so they won't run into each other? How many biscuits, more or less, and Khadija, do you get out of this batch?
About a little more than half a pound.
I'm just putting in the last of the Essies, and then these are going to bake in a moderate oven, 180 degrees, for about 15 to 20 minutes. Am I packing them okay?
Yeah, it's all right. Finish.
Okay, I'll put these in for you. The Essies have just come out of the oven, and as they say, the proof is in the Essie, and I can't wait to tuck in. It's not every day you get to eat an Essie by a professional. Nice cardamom flavour, not bitter at all, buttery and crisp. I could happily do this without even a cup of tea. So here's to PE and the famous Essie. Thank you so much. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.
I have it on good authority that those biscuits were simply delicious. From what I saw, I'd definitely buy a dozen and eat them all up. It's unfortunately our time to leave, so until next time, from me, Mario Mukwanda, Salang Hantle, Assalamu alaikum.